What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do another Will It Start video. If you didn't see my last one, I'll link it up here on the F750. Today we're going to be working on this Model A Ford. Hasn't been running in over 20 years, so we're going to see if we can't get this thing running today. So the first thing we're going to do is get this thing pulled out a little bit so we can see all around it and inspect it, see what we're probably going to need to get this thing running today. Let's go ahead and get to it. All right, guys, we got it pulled out here. Like I said before, this thing's been sitting for about 20 years since it ran last. It's only been sitting in this garage for about 6 years now. We'll check this thing over real quick here. As you can tell, we got a little roof damage here. It was parked over at the farm. Back in 2008, we had a big ice storm that collapsed the barn on it. So a rafter kind of went through the roof, and just luckily that was the only thing that happened to this thing. You know, it's pretty rough, but it's about 100 years old, so as you can tell, we're gonna have to find us a battery, which, you know, goes right under the floorboard there. And this is a 6-volt system, positive ground, so we're gonna have to find us a 6-volt battery. I don't know if you can see the odometer on there. Looks like 44,000 maybe. Hopefully it don't take much to get it started, because it ran when we parked it. So that's what we got working with here. I mean, some of this stuff looks pretty hairy there. But so it looks like everything's here. So, you know, look at this nice belt tensioner there, piece of wood. Yeah, I think first thing we'll do is try to get the shop vac in here and clean up all this mess, mouse turds and whatnot. I think to make it easier, we're just gonna go ahead and try to take this hood all the way off. It's just hard to work on this thing when you can only lift one side at a time. So let's go ahead and try to get that thing off there, and maybe we'll have a little bit better lighting after that too. All right, I ended up having to put a light up here. It was just way too dark for this video, so we should be good to go now. A lot better lighting here. See what's going on. I think I was showing you this wire before. It goes to the distributor here. It's pretty frayed up. We'll probably have to replace that. You'll never seen one of these engines before. Like, you know, spark plug wires here. They're just a piece of copper. There's no insulation on them at all. So I guess the first thing we'll do, we'll check some fluids here. Make sure we got some oil in it, which there's some oil on the dipstick there. Can't really read any of the markings, but we'll check that again. All right, we'll just take these plugs out here, and we'll take some of this oil in a squirt can and just try to squirt some oil down the cylinder before we start cranking on this thing, just to make sure it's lubed up pretty good. All right, we got the plugs out, so I'm gonna see. I have a hard time seeing down in there. I don't know if you can see down in there or not, but straight down here, the plugs, you got your intake and exhaust valve, and the pistons are actually on the opposite side here. I'll probably post a picture up here in the corner just to show you what it looks like inside there. We'll just squirt some oil down in the cylinder there, and that way we got a little lubrication when we try to get this thing to turn over a little bit. Get my oil can here. Perfectly goes down in there, so there we go. Got a little bit of oil in there. A couple pumps should be sufficient. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and try to get this battery hooked up and see if we can't get the motor to turn over. I'll go ahead and leave the spark plugs out for now, just to make it a little bit easier for this thing to crank. And then once we get it turning over, we'll put the plugs back in and work with the fuel and see if we can't get some fuel to the carburetor, and then we'll see if we can't get this thing started up. All right, so I went over to the farm and I picked up this battery out of the International 1066, the only 6-volt battery I could find. It's not gonna fit down in there, so what I'm gonna do is try to just throw these jumper cables on here, see if we can't get enough juice out of it that way. If not, might have to just go buy some new cables, some longer cables, and we can run it over there if this doesn't work. So let me just go ahead and hook these up and see if we can't get it to turn over at all. All right, I think I got everything ready here to see if we can get this thing to turn over. So let's give it a shot. All right, we got this thing to turn over a little bit. It's spinning pretty slow, so I think I'm gonna go get some new battery cables here. See if that'll help, or I would assume it'd be turning over a lot faster than that, but I'm not quite sure on that, especially with no plugs in it. You think it would be spinning a little faster. So let me go ahead and run down the hardware and I'll pick up some new battery cables and we'll try it again. All right, we went into hardware, got our battery cables all hooked up. It's kind of temporary for now, but we got all new cables on there. Let's go ahead and see if this thing will crank over a little bit faster now. Hey, that thing's spinning over pretty good now, so I think we're good to go on that. All right, we'll go ahead and throw the spark plugs back in. Then we will check out our gas situation. We might need to run some gas through the line here, kind of get any crud cleaned out, and then we'll see if this thing will fire up after that. I messed with the spark for a little bit here, off camera. I was not getting any spark here at the points, but after cleaning them up a little bit and adjusting them, I'm getting a little spark now. So I'm gonna go ahead and push down this starter and see if we can get it to show up. All right, that's good. Go ahead and throw this distributor cap back on here and see if we can't get some spark from a spark plug. See if we can get some spark out of that thing. Yeah, check that out. Good to go on that. I'm gonna go ahead and throw them spark plugs back in, and then we can mess with the fuel. And then I think we'll have a good chance of starting this thing up. So let's get to it. All right, guys, let's try to throw some fuel in this thing and see if we can get this thing to fire at all. Yeah, maybe put about a gallon of fuel in here. I don't want to put too much. Make sure we don't have any leaks or anything. All right. God knows what's in that tank, but we'll see if we can get some fuel out of here nonetheless. There should be a fuel cutoff valve in here somewhere. All right, here's the shutoff valve right here, right under the dash. Straight down should be fuel. pretty stiff, but there it goes. Alrighty. I don't see any fuel leaks in here, so that's a good thing. Let's go outside here and check it out. Come on out here. Starting to smell some fuel. Definitely smelling fuel somewhere. Well, I think I'm getting some fuel down here because I can smell it for one, and this is getting a little bit moist there. So maybe I'll try to turn it over a few times, see what happens. Well, backfired, so that's a plus. All right, guys, I got it fired just a little bit. I think I'm gonna wait till tomorrow to try to really get it started. It's getting a little dark, and I really want to go get me a fire extinguisher in case anything bad happens with this thing. So I'll probably just finish this thing up tomorrow. Hey guys, quick little plug here. I use GoPro for all my videos here on YouTube. Currently using the GoPro Hero 8. They make some great accessories for this camera and all the other GoPro cameras. So if you're in the market for a camera, check out my link down below in the description. They got some really good deals right now on GoPro. All right, let's get back to the video. Hey guys, it's the next day. It was getting a little bit too dark last night. Didn't have my fire extinguisher, so I wanted to get that. So I got that now. Didn't want to run into any problems last night and not have anything to put out a fire or whatnot. As you can see here, the carburetor is a little moist from fuel. The seals are just probably a little bad on that. That's something we'll have to address in future video, but I think we'll be good enough to get this thing started today. Let's move in here. All right, let's go ahead and turn the fuel back on and give it another shot. It's getting a little bit easier now. I've been turning it on and off basically every time, you know, I let it sit. So all right, let's go give it a shot. All right, let's try to get this thing to start. Key on. The starter switch is actually down here on the floorboard, so here is the choke. So let's go ahead and try to get this thing going. Go out there and check her out. Hell yeah! All right, guys, we got it fire a few times there. Just wanted to check everything over a little bit, make sure we're still looking good. Hell yeah, we're almost there. Let's go ahead and give her another shot. What I understand about this car is this lever here on the steering column. This is actually you can advance and retard your timing. And from what I've read, you're supposed to have it all the way up. Retarded. It'll be retarded when you're starting it, and then you're supposed to pull it back down once you get it running. That's what I've been trying to do. Keep it retarded at first, and they'll show you that little button, push button there for your foot. That's the actual starter button, and that's just a rod that goes through the firewall here and just pushes down the starter, contacts the starter in there, kind of replaces the need of starter relay or whatever. All right, let's see if we can get this thing going. Well, that's progress. She sounded pretty good, actually. So my choke lever broke. I don't know what really held that on there. Gotta see it's notched. Found something to put that back together with real quick. Alright, I just threw a cable clamp on there. See if that'll get us going. There we go. Come on, baby. See if the handbrake works. Yeah, the brakes actually work. Well, we got it pulled out of the garage at least. First time it's moved under its own power in over 20 years. It's pretty cool. A little better lighting in there now. Kind of missing the floorboard. I think it's in the back. Yeah. Well, looks like we got her going. Still need a little bit of work, but it's running. All right, we got her going. That's awesome. That's gonna be it for today's video though. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. See more videos on this car. Next video we'll probably do on it, do some inspecting on it and see what we need to get it a little bit more roadworthy. Know it's gonna need a little bit of carburetor work. So don't miss that next video on this thing. So keep an eye out on that. That being said, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.